Good morning, everybody. I am Bart Winkler. This is the Thursday, January 5 episode of the Bart Winkler Show. So, what I had done earlier today was I recorded a whole intro. I did this the other day too, and it backfired on me. I recorded a whole intro, and then I was going to go into my conversation. Me and Mike Wickett talked for like 40 minutes. What a great reunion that was. And then I was going to play the Bucks post game at the end of this podcast. But obviously the Bucks game is massive as they beat the Raptors 104-101. But in the thing that I had taped, I said, so low scoring. It's like a big 10 a game. It was a 13-12 at the end of the first quarter. Hey, the Raptors had 8 points or 8% shooting or whatever. And so it was like, I taped all that. I put on YouTube. I was ready to go live. I put Bucks beat Raptors. They were up, 18 points with 3 minutes to go. Bud goes to his reserves. I did all that, and it was like 91-75 with 2:42 left. We're now heading to overtime. 91-75 with 2:42 left, and we're heading to overtime. So I'm going to start with the Bucks. They beat Toronto, which I'm happy about. Giannis had a quadruple double, 30, 21, 10, and 12. 12 turnovers. I hate Toronto. I'm not over it. I hate Toronto. I'm not over 2019. I don't think I ever will be. Matt in the Falls, what's up, buddy?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me though?
Good evening,
now I'm doing ads for Sprint.
Good evening, Bart. I hate Toronto. Even though they're not that good now, like just the sight of Fred VanVleet's face makes my skin crawl just for what he did to us.
And he was doing so bad, and then he had a kid, and then he was like Reggie Miller. That was the dumbest part.
Yeah, I love Reggie Miller. Grayson Allen, I was terrified when he took that shot at the end of the game. Like I was like screaming like no, and then he somehow made it, even though he was terrible last night. Has not been great recently. 30-20-10 from Giannis is awesome. Like I was when he got.
Don't forget the 12.
Yeah, well, that's not as cool. So I'm just, I'll just go, 30-21 and 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome stat line. He's incredible. Brook Lopez, 19 rebounds. That's pretty awesome. Marjan had some great action. Thanasis played 39 seconds, so good for him.
Shot a 3, yep. They thought the game was over. It wasn't.
How
do you feel about this from this good-looking guy named Brent? He says, Gray Allen. As if Grayson Allen is Ray Allen.
He hit it in the same spot as that Game 6 3 from Ray Allen.
The thing with Grayson, this is the thing with the Bucks. They need shooters to make that shot. When Giannis is going into the paint and there's 4 guys and he miraculously finds Gray, they need shooters to make that shot. And tonight, Grayson made that shot, but the Bucks fans' problem is he ain't making that shot every night. Is there an upgrade? What if that was Pat? What if that was Javon? Is that an upgrade?
Joe Ingles, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, all those guys sitting on the bench. So
Joe out tonight, Middleton out tonight, Drew out tonight. So again, we're talking after another game where there's a bunch of guys that aren't playing, but then also the guys that are playing, like to give up a 16-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. I don't care if Middleton or Drew aren't playing. That's horrendous. That's terrible. And Grayson, did he nut tap the guy? Did he not?
That was such ticky-tack bullshit.
I thought it was ticky-tack, but it's Grayson. So the national narrative is he tried to rip the guy's dick off like he's Joanne Bobbitt or whatever her name was.
The no call on Portis getting shoved out of bounds by Siakam. Like how you're standing right there, and
even if it was off Siakam, it was off Siakam.
And they couldn't, and like the no challenge thing. It's like the NFL, like, oh, you can't challenge that. Well, just be able to challenge like any, like I don't know. That was a shitty ending, and they almost fucked this again. the goddamn Raptors.
I was ready to be done by now.
I'm supposed to be playing Fortnite right now.
Yeah, I was going to be done with my show by now. This part of the podcast is going to be the last part because I was going to give you the Mike Wickett and Bart Winkler conversation. That'll be tacked on to this. I'm pissed.
Tony, are you out there? Tony, join if you're out there.
I got Q in here.
He might be hosting his own space. Let me check.
So, Matt, do you play as the Giannis character in Fortnite?
I go between him and Boba Fett. Hey, there's my wife.
I have never played
What's she
Fortnite
doing down there?
in my life.
But I have a chair back there.
I know that Giannis is now a character.
Yeah, my friend bought that for me for Christmas like the second it came out.
So how much does that cost?
I don't know, like $15. You get like 2 suits or skins or whatever, and then you get like his dance moves. It's kind of a
Does
I don't buy
Giannis get money for that?
Maybe, probably.
That's amazing. Good for
Probably.
him.
He needs it.
Yeah, I like the quadruple double. That's pretty amazing, Bart.
Hey, before we get going, we need to talk about you, Q.
What's up?
Q's like, I'm doing a dry January, as he called me January 1st, wasted out of his gourd.
So, I thought that was a hilarious call out. I was going to the game. I typically do a dry January. I had already paid for like a shuttle, which included beverages there and back from Milwaukee to Green Bay. So I decided to do an extra day into February this year to make up for January 1st. But that was like the best call out I've ever heard.
Yeah, you got slammed. Here, let me get to a couple of comments. I got Matt in the Falls with me. I got Q. I'll get Hot Take Jake in here. Jake, I'll get to you in a second.
Love to.
Greg says, I heard you on 105.5 today in lacrosse. Always ready for post-game Bucks, even with the crap game. I was on in lacrosse today, and John Papadopoulos, who I interned for 15 years ago, he doesn't remember that I did that, but I did. He was very nice and talked a lot about my podcast. I appreciate that. So thank you, Greg, for coming on. JM says, this game had everything. Again, the real handsome Brent said Gray Allen instead of Ray Allen. I agree. Clearly my brother. Tom said, tonight's game, man, too much stress for a work night. Got to save these games for the weekend, man. I love that group. Great band. You got me, Tom, you son of a bitch.
I don't get it.
Oh, it's a Bill Michaels dig.
Oh. Well,
Tony wants a Notebook Mike cameo. We are working on that. Miller Park Minute is watching from Fondy. That's awesome. Heathcliff says, I need to get through January. That's why I drink. Zach says, trade Grayson on a high note. Okay. JM also says, hey, Matt, is that a Fender guitar? I play drums. Maybe we can start a Barty post-game band.
It's a Fender Precision, Fender Jazz, and Stingray back there. But they're basses. They're bass guitars.
Bucky Boyd says, Bucks still have some lingering Raptors demons, it seems. Great win, great redemption from Grayson. Bucks had lost 5 in a row to the Raptors before tonight. What's up, Hot Take Jake, everybody? Hot Take Jake.
Jake.
Hey, boys. Good to see the usual suspects. How could you call that a great win? That was...
Who called it a great win?
I don't know, this last commenter.
Q
Bucks,
did?
I didn't, but it's a great win. We pulled one out. Like
Bucky
the Bucks
Boyd?
have not done that in a month and a half. It's a great win.
I mean, I just can't seem to get over the fact that, like...
Oh, yeah, Bucky Boyd. I literally just said that.
Said it, yeah. I don't know. I think it's hard to see another collapse and think that's a great win. Like, you were up 21 with 5 minutes left. And sure, like, you pulled it out in the end, but did it feel like the Bucks, won that game in overtime, or did it feel like Toronto just couldn't hit shit and that's why they lost? Like, that's what it felt like to me.
Well, my whole thing at the beginning that I had previously taped was low scoring game, everybody, 13-12, everybody, Raptors 8%, everybody. And then it ended up being a normal scoring game, 104-101. It did go to overtime. Raptors shot about as poorly in overtime as they did in the first quarter. I'm a little distracted. Miller Park Minute says you guys are way uglier on video versus the audio version of the pod.
Am-fam minute.
That is humorous.
Am-fam minute. Yep. Q's right.
Roasted.
Yeah, boom. That's what you get.
Jake, I would have to disagree with you. I think like they played a bunch of G Leaguers. There's got to be like 40 minutes of guys on the court that played in Appleton, Wisconsin last week. Like,
wow, Q, brutal.
I mean,
Q. The G League plays in Oshkosh, you moron.
Sorry, I should have said Fox Valley. I don't even know. I've not been to a Herd game. So
it's fun.
You need to dry out, my man.
Yeah, you got to dry out.
I am. This is as dry as I get. I'm feistier when I'm dry. So, and
you could take that so many ways.
I'm coming from the Red Room.
That's true.
So, and I want to rewind a little bit. If we can get Notebook Mike on Spotify so you can speed him up so he sounds like a normal person, that would be amazing. Because when you listen to him on the radio, it takes him about 45 minutes to get to his point. So it'd be great to hear him at like 3x.
It'd be wild.
I'm going to bring Tony in Texas into the Pentabox.
Yay.
Pentabox.
All right. Hot take,
Watson.
Jake. Hot take, Jake. You're absolutely right. You got to get Notebook Mike sped up. That would be great. Also, terrible win. That is a disgrace of coaching. Bud should be embarrassed. How you can say that's a good win, Matt, I don't know. That was
Whoa. I didn't
No,
see
Q
that.
said it and
That wasn't
Bucky
me.
Boyd said it.
That wasn't me. That was hard to watch.
That was terrible.
It
The
wasn't
Bucks
great.
should have 3 rings by now. And this Budenholzer is Mike McCarthy 2.0. I am so sick of this. They put in Thanasis and these other bench players with 3 minutes or so left. The game is not over because Toronto is actually trying, which most NBA teams don't do on a regular season in January Wednesday game. The Raptors kept playing, and that crowd kept them into it. And then the Bucks didn't know what to do. They can't beat a press. They don't know how to beat a zone. That's all about coaching. That's coaching. They're running Giannis at the point. Where's Javon Carter? I mean, I love Giannis more than anyone, but he's not a true point guard. He can't shoot free throws that well. Put in Javon Carter. Brooke Lopez getting cooked by Scotty Barnes. Make a damn adjustment.
Where's this
Javon
passion
Carter.
during the Packers season, Tony? I didn't know you had a critical bone in your body. The dichotomy of your takes on the Packers versus the Bucks.
I'm right about the
ridiculous.
Packers, too.
Like,
I'm right.
I don't know what do you think about the Brewers, bud? Are you hot or cold?
We all know where we all stand the same on the Brewers. I do like the Wade Miley signing though.
Why?
I like Wade Miley. I like him.
Wade Miley's best career achievement was pitching 1/3 of an inning before they took him out.
He's
as a
36.
disguise.
What did you think about the trade for the guy that went 6-12 last year, Tony?
How do you
Was
feel
that
about Bryce
fantastic
Wilson?
too?
I like the Bush signing too. Was it Matt Bush from the Rangers? The trade.
So what's funny,
Guys, I'm
about,
gonna fall asleep if we keep talking Brewers, please.
Okay, me too, Jake.
Sorry.
But what's funny about what's interesting or funny about the podcast is the way that I had it framed was I did a little thing, then I talked to Mike Wickett, and then I was going to put the Bucks post game on. Well, now the Bucks post game is starting the show, and we'll take a break right here. And welcome back. And then at one point, while talking to Mike, he will say, "Hey, about the Bucks, why do people want Coach Bud fired?" And I'm like,
because of this
because he
shit.
sucks.
This
But
shit. What
I
is
told
that?
what I told Wickett was, and you'll hear this coming up, everybody. What I told him was, Bud adds no value to the team. If you were to be like, here's 100% or Rami's stupid pie chart, how much credit would Bud get for being a championship team? He would get like none. He is a guy that is there. I mean, one thing that Mike and I end up talking about is Joe Barry, and we say the best thing that Joe Barry's done is coach less, is back away and let the players decide what to do. Bud is an idiot. He's terrible.
Can Can I
He
stick
is
up
more
for
of
him
a
for 1
negative than a
second, though?
positive.
Who do you want instead? Name
Okay,
somebody
that's the
better.
problem.
Name
Is
somebody
if
better.
you take Bud out right now, like when I argued for Jason Kidd to be fired, I would always say that imagine you're in a burning house. You're gonna get out of that house.
This is nowhere near Jason Kidd.
Well, I would say, where are you gonna sleep? And people would be like, who cares? I need to get out of this burning house. The house is not on fire. So we don't need to do a drastic thing. And a Bud firing at this point might do more harm than good because it's in the middle of the year. The team likes him, whatever.
They're not
But
firing.
Bud as a coach
They're not
brings
firing.
no value to the team is the thing.
Bart,
But
you're
they
absolutely
might be in a position where they can't fire him.
25 and
absolutely
30.
Bart,
We
you're
lost our
absolutely
escape
Matt,
plan.
here. Matt, the Mavericks, you said that about Jason Kidd. Yeah, he wasn't great with Milwaukee, but he got that Maverick team to the Western Conference Finals last
Luka
year.
Doncic.
Yeah. Luke,
He's incredible.
Kumpo, Drew
Yeah.
Holiday, Chris Middleton.
They weren't developed. Giannis was a fleggling
Well,
bird learning to fly.
Bud should have 3 rings by now.
Bud set him free.
They should have 3 rings. They should have 3
True.
titles right
I'll
now.
say 2.
There, you can make a case. They're wasting his prime like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll say 2.
Wow, I can't.
2 rings.
Like, do you have a man crush on LaFleur because he looks more handsome than Bud? Because like the coaching effort this year from Bud versus LaFleur is like uncanny. Like Barry should have been fired after
They made the
week
adjustments.
10.
That's 2.
They
That's
did
2.
Should have been
adjustment.
fired after week 10. Like, I don't understand.
They made the adjustments. If they didn't make adjustments, you'd be
so
right.
cute.
But they made the adjustments. That's why I'm
And-
right.
But
Can I stop this for a second and be emotional? I was asked a couple of different things today about the podcast. And if you guys didn't see, I was in Channel 12 News. Did anybody see that tonight?
I don't get Channel 12, Bart.
I was on Channel 12 News. Yeah. Hannah Hilliard, who used to come into our station, she sent me a message today, said, will you talk about Giannis's 55-point game? And I said, Hannah, you know that I work out of my basement now, right? And she said, yep, but you're a sports expert.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
And so I came on. So this podcast is on the Channel 12 News. Now, I sent them clips with Matt and Q, but they just used my fat face. So sorry, guys.
It's all
So
right.
I was
Thanks
on
for
Channel 12
trying.
News.
Yeah.
I was on Channel 12 News.
Jake, we got stiffed.
But here's what I like. Because all of you guys, we got Matt in the Falls, who's here right now, who is coming at us in his video game headquarters, and his wife is like sleeping on the floor.
No, so there's a chaise.
I'm here on the couch.
Okay.
There's a chaise. That I
Oh,
have
that's a
going
nice
that
couch.
way.
Okay.
So hey,
Yeah.
cone roller. Now you know my face and my wife's face, you little pussy.
Hey, now.
Okay, excellent.
Uh,
We got Q,
Settle
who I hung out with for the World Cup, who tried to fail a dry January on day 1. We got Tony in Texas, who looks more ripped every time I see him.
Say, dude's jacked. My
Yeah,
God.
yet he's wearing like kids' pajamas.
Yeah, I only argue with him because he lives in Texas. If he was in Wisconsin, I would just be like, "You're right, sir."
I'm
And
a
we've got Hot Take Jake, who I
Tony's my
know
fighter.
has so much more to say than he said already, but he is just like falling asleep listening to all you rum-dums talk.
He took too many
I
gummies.
love all 4 of you equally.
The gummies.
The gummies work, man. That's the best sponsor ever, bro.
I know they work.
55
HappyPlayTime.com.
gummies in a night.
I just wanted to say there's something wrong with this team. I can't pinpoint what it is. It's not
Injuries.
because they're not healthy. It's not
It's
because of
100%.
coaching. It's something else. And one thing that I have an issue with that really annoys me, there's so many people like in Buck's Twitter and just in the media that cover this team that carry water for them that would never, ever in a million years broach this subject or like do anything but just like completely disregard it from anybody that mentions it. Like somebody like, I love Paul Henning. I've hung out with Paul. He used to do the Save Our Bucks thing. And like, I think maybe he got one too many sets of comp tickets and like hooked up by the team to be critical anymore. And there's not anybody like in Bucks media that's like the dissenting voice other than the one and only legendary Gary Wolfel. So I think the year 2023, we need to hashtag bring back Gary. Bart, can you get him on?
I could try to get Gary on, but Gary Wolfel is Gary is so far gone.
That's the brilliance of it. He would fit right in.
Does he have a job? Like who pays him for his takes?
Gary at wolfelspressbox.com.
Oh,
Gary was a great reporter for so many years. He then was very close with Jabari. That didn't work out. And that's fine. Then the problem was Gary would rip on the good things. Like the Bucks won a title. He'd be like, yeah, well, it took them 6 games. That was a problem with Gary.
and he just makes up rumors.
Well, the other thing, I think Gary, he was like rubbing elbows with people in the old ownership regime. And I think when that switched over, like a lot of that went away. So he was a little bit bitter about it.
He used to have the legit scoop back when Sparky did post games.
Larry Harris era. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was in with the Herb Cole era, but that makes sense. But he would know like a couple days or a week in advance. Like he would sprinkle some rumors out there. So it's too bad. I don't know how old he is, but his tweets are ridiculous now.
Yeah. So. Hey, Bart, what did Brett from Tosa say there?
I do need to talk to Brett and Tosa. Brett says Thanasis didn't play the final 240 of regulation. Bucks had a 15-point lead when he left. Starters got to close it out. But the issue there is Bud went to his bench too soon.
Brett.
I do want to talk to Brett. This is something that Brett, and if you want to join in, you can find the link. I should almost save it to blast you in person because Brett tried to blast me, and I just put on YouTube. Brett tried to blast me earlier. The Bucks are doing this thing because Giannis scored 55. Giannis scored 55, career high. So the Bucks sent out an email. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing. We just started it. 2 tickets, $55. We'll throw in a $10 voucher." Oh, okay. And Brett goes, "Oh, Bart's gonna be mad. That doesn't pay for the cost of a beer." But what the Brewers did was, hey, coming up in 1 month, we have got the most exciting thing ever. We are going to blow your mind, fans. And we're all on the edge of our seats. And then they're like, okay, if you buy the worst $6 seats in the house, which you can get on StubHub for 95 cents, we'll also give you a $6 voucher, which buys nothing in this park. After a month of building it up. So Bucks are like, hey, 2 for $55, $10 voucher. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. Brewers are like, $6 voucher, you fucks.
And
Bart,
Wade
you know
Miley.
what they did? They gobbledygookered you, buddy.
They gobbledygookered you.
Yeah. I hope you get that reference.
Bait and switch.
You got it. They put the big egg out in front of you, and then when it hatched, it was a $6 voucher.
All right.
Is that $10 voucher to split between the two?
Great
Bucks
question.
positive.
2 for 55?
I don't
Bucks
know.
positives.
As for
Marjan had an amazing first half.
Oh, about Marjan.
He was reeling us back in.
another thing.
Lisa calls him Marshawn. Is that his name?
No, it's Marjan.
I
Marjan.
thought so.
It can't be
It's French.
Hey,
Yeah,
Buck,
his last name's French.
That
too.
was a massive
French.
dunk in the first half. And like honestly, like this was a frustrating game. I was right there with you. But if we can get one of these G League guys to play meaningful minutes in the playoffs, this game was worth it. And that's where like we were talking about this last night. This has been so frustrating to have guys in and out of the lineup all year, but it's giving all these young guys a chance. And like, thankfully, George Hill has been out at the same time with his sickness because we're getting to see all these young guards that would otherwise just be buried in Oshkosh. So
There you go.
Q, you make as much sense when you're drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, what
you watch too much NFL, Tony.
like AJ Green's gonna save us? Is that what you're looking at?
Hey, no, but AJ Green is the exact kind of guy that should be getting minutes.
He's like Matt Ryan that was on the Lakers that got cut.
Is anybody going to the Packer game on Sunday? I think I'm going.
Ew.
No.
Well, I'm going. So my first, I got offered tickets, and my first thought was, should I stay home and do a pod? But I gotta go, right?
Gotta go, man.
You go and then you do an episode based on the entire day. Like you do your stream of consciousness thing, but you do it the whole way. Like when you get
Why
there,
would
you interview
anybody-
people with a fork and you make an episode of it.
Good call, man.
January, you got
No, just Lambeau Field sucks balls as is. Now you're gonna go in
But
mid-January.
the caveat
Come on.
is
Jake, you've
Come
been on.
on.
Hey, now that shit. Come on.
the caveat is I'm getting indoor club seats.
It's okay. That makes a little more sense. But
Fine
if you have to
getting?
sit anywhere in the bowl, fuck that.
It was fantastic last week. I had a great view. Had easy
Yeah, everyone
access in and
the whole
out.
town
Got
knows
to
you had a
talk-
good time, Q.
Talk.
Keep in
trash
mind
on the
though,
Vikings
I've been
fans.
sober for 7 years, so maybe that plays a fact into it. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
what's with all you guys being sober all the time?
Because we're
You booze,
alcoholics.
you lose.
Tim's been sober for 7 minutes.
That's Cali sober, right, Jake?
Tim
What's
Shea.
that?
That's Cali
Cali
sober
sober.
because I'm pretty sure you're eating a gummy like right now.
Well, it's a gummy. It's like it's a candy. Hey, can I get a petition started
That'll hold
here?
up in court.
I want Tim to have theme music when he comes on every time, and it needs to be HBK's WWE theme music.
Tim.
You know he's sexy.
Ooh, Marty's gonna be at Lambeau.
I will be at Lambeau.
Where?
Y'all are
Nice.
crazy, man.
I'm sitting in a
Damn
suite.
fine.
Me too, maybe.
Okay.
But
The best
so
part of
I
going
told-
to Lambeau is when
I
you
told
leave
Gary-
the stadium and your back hurts, like, and you can't
God
walk
damn it!
straight.
I have to charge. God damn it!
It's the
They
worst.
let you stand at Lambeau now. It's not as bad
They
in
let
the
you.
bowl.
Let Bart take a break here.
No, I have to charge my computer.
The grumpy season ticket holders must
Sit
have passed
down!
away
Sit
and dropped their
down!
tickets to younger heirs.
Well, that's good.
Well,
I have a
I
theory.
told Gary Ellerson I'm going to Lambeau, and he's like, "Oh, you should stop by the Tundra Trio. We've got. Well, I'll get you food. I'll get you all the drinks. I'll get you everything you want." I go, "That's great, Gary. Who's there?" And he goes, "Oh, well, Greg Matzik does a show with me." I go, "Okay, I met Greg. I like Greg." And then he goes, and then Jason Willie stops by for a few hours. I go, "That guy hates my guts. And not going there."
The
If
bar
only Bill
has
Michaels was
$40 all you can eat and drink.
The bar does.
Yeah, that's what got
I think
me.
I'm going to drive home though. I think that's going to be my play. I'm not
Hey,
going to
Bart,
drink.
does Wildy have a top 20 podcast like you?
I was top 20 for one day. I'm like top 3,000 now.
Oh, come on.
You're number one in my heart.
You need Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get this pot up.
I need someone with some dark skin in here. All you guys are like the whitest people I
I
know.
gotta get
We
Ram.
need some seasoning.
Yeah.
That was hilarious when somebody
Some guy
said that.
commented the other day that we need some seasoning on here. It's like all I can think of.
Friends up. It's like the
We're
friend.
not stopping anyone.
It's a friend
It's
That's true.
Bart.
You know what? We should do a road trip to Sacramento and go to the stadium before Rami does. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
All I know
Rami
is
sucks.
this would be that Wagner guy's favorite podcast,
Oh, Jeff.
the video
Jeff?
version.
Or Andrew.
I don't know why, but when you get 6 guys like these, I enjoy it.
The perfect lineup would be Brooke Lopez, Grayson Allen,
Hey.
AJ Green.
They did have 4 white guys and Giannis down at the floor when they were making a run.
That
Anyway.
did kind of make you feel good about yourself, like, oh, maybe I could be out there. Like,
Tim,
I
did you
feel
watch
like
the
I'm
game?
the small. I feel like if I was in the NBA, I would be Joe Ingles.
You would be no,
But
you're,
he's 6'7" and I'm 5'10" and a half. Yes,
Close.
and a half.
you're Deladova.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Deladova used to hit up Cloud Red and Shorewood all the time.
What is that?
It used to be the Village Pub, which was way better, but Cloud Red's all right.
So are you going to front Wildy? What's the deal here? What's the play?
The play is I don't want to ruin Gary's thing, so I'm not going to stop by.
Say
But
hi.
I would love to talk to Wildy later on Infrastructure Week. The problem is I watched a religious podcast, all 30 minutes, that Wildy, Homer, and Tom Pippins did, talking about their love for God. And at one point, Jason Wildy's like, the worst thing that I have is I can't forgive people. And he can't
That's
forgive me because
Christianity.
I said one bad tweet about him.
What did you say about him?
One time I'm going to the dentist, believe it or not, and I go. Florio's calling Wildy. Mike Florio, Pro Football Docs, doing something, And I said, Florio's a hack. And then Wildy thought I was calling him a hack. So I get out of the dentist and I see on Twitter that I'm the worst person in the world because I called Wildy a hack. I didn't call Wildy a hack. I called Florio a hack. Wildy's like, I'm just trying to do good work and feed my family. And then all of Wildy's like minions are like, oh, who is this? I've never heard of Bart Winkler before today. Well, that's going to end soon because you guys are going to start hearing about me. Who hasn't heard about me? I was on the Channel 12 news tonight. Was
You're
Wildy
a
on the
national
Channel 12
guy,
news
bro.
tonight?
I
No,
found the tweet.
I was. You what?
I found the tweet.
What'd I say?
It said Harbaugh to the Packers is not a rumor. It's a discussion started by Hack Florio. There is a difference between rumors and clickbait. Thanks. November 22nd, 2016.
And I quote tweeted Wildy.
I can't see the quote tweets. That's Elon's taking care of that.
But then Wildy thought I was calling him a hack.
I don't know how that could be construed from that, but
And if he cares.
I have a question for Tim. Can I ask Tim something?
Anyone can do anything at any time. I have lost control.
Timbo, I want to know what your latest Middleton trade idea is because I think
oh, that reminds me.
we need to figure out a way to turn Chris Middleton into Dyson Daniels and OG Anunoby. And that's my idea. We just someone else figure out the details and then let's just do it.
Let me think about that. No.
I mean, I do enjoy watching knee soreness log 36 minutes a night or
Jake,
Calm down.
would a Buddy Hield interest you?
Tony, I saw your tweet about you want to trade Middleton for LeBron James.
That was
I saw that story.
that was a CBS Sports retweet I did.
I was like, whoa, that's an idea. I guess that's one idea. I don't want LeBron because I don't want to deal with, oh, you needed LeBron to win a championship. Giannis got help. Giannis super team. Like, I don't want any of that.
Well, Matt, you got to draft Bronny then the second round.
That's true.
Yeah,
so he's getting drafted way higher in the second round because they know that you're getting LeBron with him.
If you can get LeBron for Chris Middleton, you're going to do it.
But I don't like LeBron, and I like Chris Middleton.
Why is this even coming out? What,
Thank you.
CBS Sports put it out there, and
it's Tim's fault.
what did CBS Sports put out?
We couldn't do it. Doesn't he make like 60 a year?
Oh, Tony, explain this to me.
The top trade scenarios for LeBron James, and that was in the top 10. Giannis or LeBron to the Bucks.
I don't think we could. We'd have to throw in a pick because I think he makes a lot more than Chris.
He does make a little bit more, but it's doable. I think you got to throw someone else.
Look,
in.
I love my CBS Sports overlords as much as the next guy, but
Yeah, that's
the dumbest thing I ever heard.
The clickbait worked for that one.
Well, Tim was the one who started this whole thing. I want to know what his idea is.
I'm going to say don't trade him. Keep him.
You do need that late season knee soreness when you're really gearing in for the playoffs, and that's huge for the team.
Bucky's back. He says, I must regain control of this shit show.
Has anyone seen Ram's face? Is Jake Ram? Like, are the same person?
It could be Cone Roller.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be the all-time.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
He takes his mask off and goes, F Middleton. All right, I have a question for Tim.
All right, then I'm going to kick everybody out except for Tim.
Did Tim watch the game?
I did. And then I left when they were up, 15? And then I got home and it was in overtime. I said, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Collapse.
Oh, wait,
All right,
Tim,
I'm kicking everybody out except for Shay.
can I ask Tim one question?
Yeah.
Fortnite time.
Is there something wrong with this team? Yes or no?
No.
All right.
I agree with Tim.
This is what I've told Tony this, but this is what I kind of expected all year. I didn't expect them to run through the East, just tread water till about mid-March, get going mid-March, end of April into the playoffs. That's what the NBA is.
But
the
these
NBA
two
regular
collapses
season does not matter anything.
Jake,
these
I
two
agree with
collapses
Jake.
do not
Jake.
mean anything.
Jake is absolutely right. The Bucks are not learning how to win these games and close out teams. And you could say Chris Middleton could help, but that's an unknown right now. We don't know if Chris is going to be healthy and ready to go. They've got to close these games out, Tim, and they're not doing it. They did it today, but it was not pretty. It was not pretty. And what percentage of Budenholzer do you blame on this? Because I put a lot of it on Bud. He's not developing Beauchamp at all. Beauchamp needs more time. Beauchamp is exactly what this team needs, a long defender that can hit the three.
Who would you hire right now then? Right now?
You can't fire him right now. You can't fire him.
Well, right. They're stuck. They're stuck with
They're
him.
stuck with him, just like you're stuck with Joe Barry.
So what happens if he wins another ring this year? Let's say the Bucks do what they're supposed to do.
Give him
Then what?
share of the ownership. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm with Bart, 100%.
If he wins the ring, he ain't leaving. So you're stuck with him. Just saying that.
All right, well.
So you wouldn't do anything to this team at all?
Right
You're not
now?
touching them.
No.
The East is tough, man. There are 5 teams that can come out of the East. It is going to be.
They'll have this all figured out by mid-March.
JM says, I want Ty Lue. Okay. Or Mark Jackson. Never.
Yeah. No.
Miller Park Minute says, do you do guest appearances? Yeah, let's talk. All right, boys. I'm just going to wrap it up with Timmy.
All
All right. You're the best.
Love you both.
All right, go Pack, go.
GPG. All right, Shay. How you doing, bud?
Good, Bart.
Where were you tonight?
I was over at a friend's house.
Yeah? Romantic friend?
Nah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, I'm going to play John and Franklin's voicemail if you don't mind.
I haven't heard from John in a while.
Well, that's the thing that I've been talking about is that I miss John.
I do too. Usually between him and Mike the Painter, always the first call of the day.
I miss Mike too. But we may be getting more John down the line.
Okay.
Let me play the voicemail. Voicemail is brought to you by Carl's Place. Check out my Twitter at Wings Thinks or go to carlavt.com.
Good morning, John and Franklin. Continued prayers for young Hamlin. Understand he's 50% off the ventilator. According to the cardio experts that I've listened to, this could be a day where we get some updates, and I'm guessing they're going to be positive as they begin to put this kid back together. I listened to the beginning of your podcast, and, I miss the old days when I could pick up the phone because sometimes I'd hear a take and I'd be ready to go through a wall, kind of like the, who was the guy, the fruit punch guy, Hawaiian punch guy would go busting through the wall. I feel like going through a wall.
Kool-Aid.
Andy
I'm
Reid.
worried about the Lions. I am guaranteeing victory, okay? And it doesn't mean they're going to lay down. And I wouldn't have this feeling if we didn't have 12. 12 is not losing this football game. I will throw $500 at a poker tournament I think I have a chance in. I won't throw $1, not $1 of my hard-earned money in a slot machine. I'm betting this game, and I'm probably going to bet it hard. It may be somewhat competitive in the beginning. I don't care if we're down 10 points. We have 12, my friends. And as long as we play defense like we played, as we played in the last game, we need to do the same thing with their St. Brown because they got the good St. Brown. And you shut that kid down, you're going to go a long way to winning this football game. And you're going to let Jari do exactly what he did last time. Is he going to be as good? We're going to find out. But I'm betting on the kid. I was cringing when he did that little dance. I'm like, man, it's awful early. I was, I'm nervous Nelly. But he knew he had the kid. He got in the kid's head, and that's all about cornerback. That's all about any competitive game, getting in your opponent's head. Loving it. And unlike your other guest who said that he ain't watching the game because he thinks we're going to win, I don't think, I'd have to be dead. You'd have to literally get 3 or 4 guys, football linemen, to pull me out of the living room from watching this football game. I can't wait for it. If it happens, I know there's a chance they might punt the week before the Super Bowl and push things back. I'm all for them doing whatever is for the mental health of these football players because that's first and foremost. And one of my resolutions for 23 is I want to step up my call-in game. I want to be like Tony in Texas and some of your younger guys who get in on your post-game show on YouTube. I even talked ring light to some of my younger relatives, and they're going to set me up, and I'm going to try to step up my social media because I miss you guys and I love you. I'm out.
Nice.
So I get Tony in Texas in here. I get Hot Take Jake in here. I get Matt in the Falls. I get Tim Shea. I get Q. If John and Franklin was in here, he would blow the whole thing up.
Yep.
You guys wouldn't even be able to stand with this legend.
I would bow down. I would
Yeah.
bow down.
All right. Anything else, Timmy? Anything Packers, Brewers? They signed Wade Miley.
Wade Miley. I'm kind of indifferent to it.
Can we just ask what happened between you and Ryan Braun where you don't want his number retired?
I don't like him. I don't like the way how everything went down. He made life difficult for everybody after that. So I just don't like him.
All for Chicken asks if I have a ring light. I do have a ring light. That's why my glow is so great. Matt in the Falls bought it for me and sent it to my house unannounced.
Packers will win. Packers should win. I'm not convinced yet that they'll play this week.
Everyone's playing this week.
Okay. All right. I'm just until they announce if the Bills are going to play or not.
That game might get pushed to like Monday or Tuesday, but everyone else is playing.
All right.
You know, when JFK passed away, they played 2 days later.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Brewers, Wade Miley.
And I feel like I don't know. I'm checking. I go to Twitter like every 5 minutes to look for DeMar Hamlin.
I know. It's just like, can we get some good news, please?
I mean, it keeps trending good, but nothing's
but,
trending great.
Right. Like it's yeah.
Ian wants to know why it looks like daytime at my house. Ian,
it is. You're overseas this week.
Here's my house.
Damn.
Little green screen. Little rusty old garage.
I'm going to assume you don't like the Wade Miley signing.
It's not that I don't like it. It does zero for me.
Right.
Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? What's he going to be?
He could be, instead of Chichi Gonzalez, he could be that guy. I mean, who would you rather have?
Remember when
everyone called him Chichi Rodriguez?
Yeah, remember when the Brewers traded Josh Hader and got nothing back for him, and then traded Esteury Ruiz for Wilson Contreras, and people were like, "Best trade ever."
Well, we got Wilson Contreras, and we're going to the World Series apparently.
Okay, Brett. I love Brett so much. Even thinking about the Brewers right now makes me it gives me a rash.
We're like 34 days away from pitchers and catchers.
Which is the word I hate. I don't care.
I know. I'm just saying. I heard that number out there the other day. So
I'm at the point right now where if the Packers moved, I don't want to say. And if the Bucks move, but if the Brewers move, I'd be like, hope they build an apartment there.
Oh,
Rick would be like Rick Schlesinger would be like, he'd be like, if you sign up first and last month rent, we'll give you a $6 deposit fee.
$6.
Oh no, Brett says F you, Bart, leaving the stream. Brett, your favorite team sucks.
He'll be back.
I'm out.
They all come back.
Who's my Masters pick?
JT. Hey, start getting that plastic figurine ready.
I'm not eating that.
You should melt it and put it in with your Cheerios or something.
All right, so the next thing you're going to hear, if this is the YouTube video, it's just going to end. But if this is the podcast, you're going to hear me talking to Mike Wicked. We taped it about 7:30 on Wednesday night. So at one point he says, why should Bud be fired? We've clearly answered that. But we do talk some Packers, and we do relive some great times. And he also tries to figure out who Toby is. Never mentions you, though, Tim. Sad.
Never had any interaction with him.
Yeah. All right. Love everybody. And coming up is Mike Wickett.